It's Division 4 Grand Final week in the Eastern Football League, and the Friday preview team have decided to head up the mountain to the South Belgrave Football Club, a very proud club with a very proud history, and they're looking to add their first premiership flag in the EFL after 5 years to add to the multitude of flags in these club rooms. Welcome to the Friday preview bonus edition, and we're here at the South Belgrave Football Club. Coach of the South Belgrave Saints, Nick Cox. Nick, welcome.
Good. How you going?
Not too bad.
Good.
Nick, very big game this weekend ahead of the Division 4 Choose Tap Grand Final against the Basin. What does training consist of on the Thursday night?
Well, Dan, obviously we've played last week and the Basin had a couple of weeks off, so we're really honing in on our skills and obviously a fair few meetings this week. And you know, it's an exciting week. It's the best week of footy at the moment, and boys are up and about. But you know, tonight, last training session, we'll probably try and get on Saturday morning. But you know, real buzz around the place at the moment.
You've met the Basin 3 times this year. Obviously, results haven't gone your way, but I mean, the result could have gone either way in the first 2 games, definitely. What do you take out of all 3 games, good and bad?
Well, you know, the Basin are the team to beat. We're absolutely the underdog, and we know that. But we think if we play our best footy, that we'll give it a fair crack or fair nudge. What we take out of the 3 games is that really they mean nothing now. You know, the most important thing is obviously a grand final victory, and you know, they haven't lost a game all year. Their finals history isn't that great, so you know we're hopefully going to thanks boys. We're hopefully going to win the most important game of the year.
Now the road to the finals for South Belgrave hasn't been an easy one. You've had to play every single week. The Basin obviously had the week off. It's a disadvantage maybe, but an advantage that you've been able to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely, and we talked about that as a group, that our momentum's really important. You know, throughout the year you play footy every week. And we've continued that on, obviously, over the final series. You know, it's not a sprint; it's a real marathon, and we've put things into place that you know get us to this weekend with the best opportunity that we can grab, I suppose. Yeah.
You mentioned the Basin haven't lost a game yet this season. Do you think that adds the pressure to them going into the grand final?
Yeah, absolutely, it does. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure that it's been talked about within their group as well, that you know they don't want to crack under the pressure of the big game. You know, they're a very good team, but you know, and I'm sure that they'll be sticking to their structures and just going through the processes. They've done really well so far, but you know, hopefully we can put them under a fair heap of pressure that can exploit them, and you know, we'll come away with the victory.
You didn't line up last weekend for South Belgrave. Now, what was the rationale behind that?
The old body, have a week off. You know, it was a warm, hot day, and we thought we'd bring a little bit of speed into the side. This week will be a little bit different. Probably the last game of footy I ever play, so hopefully we'll go out with a bit of a bang, and really, you know, I'll drug myself up legally, by the way, drug myself up and get an opportunity to play.
You mentioned on EFL Sunday last weekend that you're a bit envious of what Roval were able to achieve. Have you had to pull the boys aside and say, this is what Roval have achieved, this is what we're aiming for?
Obviously it's a blueprint that Monsters, you know, and the footy club, it's not just about Paul, but you know, he's been the head figure there. You know, a couple of years ago, as I think he touched on in Division 3 and 4, he recruited really well. But, you know, he went about it a little bit different in Division 2. And we've got a lot of homegrown talent here as well. As everyone keeps forgetting that blokes like Dustin Apps and Todd Burley, Brad Conda and Alex Bacons are all junior footballers at this footy club. They just went away and came back. And, you know, you whack the likes of Ari Shearer and Tom Hallinan into our side. You know, Liam Kidd, they're all South Belgrave juniors. So, you know, it's a real blueprint for success, I believe. And, you know, Roval have done it now, haven't they? They've gone from 4th to 1st, and it's credit to people like you know, David Horton, who started it years ago, and Paul Minot, Paul Barlow, these types. You know, and we are envious of it, and we're hopefully to climb that mountain ourselves soon.
You mentioned a lot of your handy players. Who do you think will be the biggest threat for the Basin this weekend? They've got a lot of mix of young and experienced players in their side. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, the Basin, they've got a lot of really good players, got a lot of good generals. Dan DeBrave is obviously a key for them. You know, Todd Power, we could talk about a heap, but I think that the thing is that they've got to worry about our players as well. We've got a lot of talent in our side, and you know, Tom Hallinan's back into the side now, who's exceptional for us. Ari Shearer, you know, Brock Ferguson down back. Our back 6 has been tremendous. David Taylor, Alex Bacons has hit form at the right time of the year. Lucas Appleby. So there's a lot of, you know, both sides will be worried about each other. It's who turns up and plays better, I suppose.
Certainly is. Nick Cox, thank you very much for joining us on the Friday preview bonus edition. Welcome to the Friday Preview bonus edition here at Balwyn Football Club. We're here with Balwyn Tiger and former St Kilda player Allan Murray. Welcome, Allan.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
Big season for the club this year. Obviously, you played your 100th game and you've been here 6 years now. How big's this season been for you personally?
Yeah, it was good. Good to finally get that 100th game, and as you said, been at the club for 6 years and enjoyed it thoroughly. And this year we've set a pretty high target and benchmark, and hopefully we can get over Norwood this weekend and take on Vermont next week.
A bit of tragedy struck the club at the end of last season, of course, with Sean Bergen. How much has that played in motivation in terms of the team doing well this season? Yeah,
no doubt. Every game, Sean comes along with us. We've got his jumper framed, and we pay tribute to him every time we run out. And it's just so motivating to have Sean's presence with us, and I would definitely take that out on the ground on Saturdays.
No better than this year to take home a flag. And in your 6 years at the club, do you think you've ever had a better shot at a flag than this season?
We got it in 08. We had a pretty talented team then as well. But this year, I think we've got a lot of young talented players, and being one of the older ones as well. So hopefully we can be up in the top 3 for the next couple of years to come as well.
Big opponent in Norwood this week. Who do you expect to line up on?
I'm not too sure. I'll be floating around somewhere. Doesn't matter who the opponent is, but I'll just try and do my best on Saturday and hopefully get a couple of kicks. How
do you feel you've gone this season? I mean, obviously you've been around the club a long time. How do you compare it to other seasons at the club?
Personally, I started off a little slow, but now just starting to get the ball rolling, and they're starting to hit a bit of consistency as well.
How do you see Norwood? You see they're obviously finished on top of the ladder, real threat to the premiership, but the Ledgers 1-1 this season. Yeah, they're a bit of a surprise packet this year. They finished on top, and all credit to them. They've got a great defensive game style, and hopefully we can break that apart on Saturday. Well, Allan Murray, all the best for this weekend, and hope you win the flag.
Cheers, mate.